everybody, welcome back to Burnt Church. I hope everybody's been having a good day. It's been real nice here. Sun's out and it's pretty outside today. I want to take a second to ask you to check and make sure that you're still subscribed. I've had a few get unsubscribed here lately and they really didn't know that they were unsubscribed. So if you would take a second to make sure. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to make a candle. Now, not an ordinary candle like you'd see in a store somewhere or something. We're going to try to make this from some products we have here at home. So if you'll stay with me a minute, I'll show you what I'm going to do and we'll see if it works or not. So I've got a little piece of this 100% cotton material left here. This is what I'm going to try to make the wick out of. I'm going to cut probably about a 1/4 inch wick to use in this. We're going to try to make 2 of them. That's how many containers I've got. I looked around for some different kind of containers, but I really didn't have much. I think what would work good would have been like a vein of sausage can, but I didn't have any here. So this is what I came up with. These 2 little containers. My wife had bought them and didn't use them. I reckon she'd bought them to put herbs in. So I'm going to use them. She's at work, she don't know what I'm doing. So what I'm going to try to do is hot glue this wick to the bottom down here, because if I don't, I figured that it'll try to float up in the candle. This may be a challenge, trying to get this hot glue down in here. So I've already done this first one. I thought I hit record on the camera, but I hadn't. So we're going to do this second one here together. What I'm going to do is drop of this hot glue into the bottom, and then take this stick and push my wick into it. I made these wicks a little long, as you can see. They're sticking above the top, but I can trim them off. So now what we need to do is find the fuel that we're going to use for this. And what I've got is something that we produced right here at the house. And you can produce this at your house too. Even if you don't do it in the way that I did, you can still make this kind of fuel at your house. This is lard from the hog that we butchered 2 years ago. Now it's old lard. I really wouldn't want to cook with it. So what we're going to do is take this over to the stove and liquefy it, and then we're going to pour it in here. So I'll bring you over here with me, and we're going to liquefy this on the stove, and at the same time we're going to be sealing a cast iron skillet that needs this oil in it. So this here is pretty hot. I don't think it's at frying temperature. I'm not wanting to really get the oil that hot. I'm just wanting to melt it. And this little skillet is one I don't use very often. And it's trying to get some rusty spots in it. So this oil is going to help it out a lot. Yeah, that's going to melt it pretty fast. It's already getting liquefied a good bit. I've got that oil all over me. I'll have it on everything, I'm sure. I've got another cast iron griddle over here that I need to bring over here and rub it on it too. I think we'll rub this griddle with this oil while we're waiting on this to liquefy. While we're waiting on this griddle to warm up, we'll go over and pour this into our candles. I got this old pizza box that I can use. Should work to catch any of the oil that I spill, and I know I'll spill it because when it comes to oil, paint, tar, I can make a good mess with it. This ain't just real hot, I don't think, to where it will burn me. It didn't sit on the stove but a few minutes. Told you, I'll make a mess. I think that's full enough. I think we need to let these set and let that oil turn back solid before I try to use this as a candle. Because I think right now that wick could just fall down in there if I try to burn it. So I'm going to put these in the refrigerator, and that should speed up the process. So while we're waiting on them, we'll coat that griddle. I just got an old piece of a t-shirt that I'm going to use to wipe it on with. That's just some surface rust. It don't seem to have gone too deep in most of the places now. There's a place or two on the other side that's gotten a little deep. I brushed it a little bit with a brass brush, trying to knock some of it off. If that don't work, I'll just have to refinish it. They're not real hard to refinish. It's just a little time consuming. But you can see this side here, it's got a little more rust. I'm gonna let that heat up a little while longer on this stove. Now I'll take a dry cloth and wipe all the excess off of it. It's turned out a lot better than I thought. I don't think I'll have to do nothing to it. It was just surface rust. Well, our lard has set up now. I used these little pieces of wood to hold the wick up straight while I put them in the freezer. I'm going to trim that wick just a little bit, and then we're going to see if it'll light up or not. What y'all think? You think it'll work or not? I don't have a clue. The internet says it'll work, but I don't know. We're going to try and see. Well, it's burning right now. We've invented fire. I don't know how long it'll work. If this works, I'll have all kinds of stuff to make candles out of, because I've got a lot of old lard from that hog a few years ago. Well, I don't know how long they'll burn, but they're burning right now and putting off a pretty good bit of heat. I'll burn them a while and see how well they do. So I'll be back with you in just a little bit and let you know how they're done. So they've been burning for a few minutes now. I had to take a piece of straw, kind of about the size of a toothpick, and I slid it down through the side of the wick to hold the wick up straight. That's the only problem I've seen with these, is it gets liquefied up around the wick and it falls down into that lard and goes out. As long as you can hold your wick up straight, it'll burn. And it's burning pretty good, actually. So the next ones I do, I'll be adding a toothpick in there to hold the wick up straight. I guess I'm going to have some candlelight tonight. Y'all try this at home. You don't have to have lard. You can use bacon grease. I would probably try to not have salt in it. This has been fun to do, and I've actually learned something. I'd like to play around with some different wicks and just see. And it might even work just to put the toothpick in there and use it. I don't know. I'll try it and see. But I thank y'all for watching, and I pray God blesses you, and I'll see you in the next one.